Welcome to Time for Hope, a faith-based mental health program. Join our host, certified clinical mental health counselor and Christian psychotherapist Dr. Freda Crews, and her guests as they discuss real-life issues and offer expert clinical advice and solid biblical application for any and all life situations. Now, here's the host of Time for Hope, Dr. Freda Crews.
We appreciate you joining us for another edition of Time for Hope. I'm Dr. Freda Crews, your host, and today I would like to welcome author, Christian psychologist, and popular speaker, Dr. David Clarke, as my guest, as we discuss his book titled, What Happened to Happily Ever After, subtitled, Fixing the 10 Mistakes Most Couples Make. According to current estimates, 40 to 50% of marriages will end in divorce. Every couple wants to live happily ever after, but wives and husbands often repeat common mistakes and end up with intimacy-challenged marriages. And it won't be too long before their okay marriage is a bad marriage, and divorce is a serious option. But there is hope. Stay with us as David and I discuss how you can rejuvenate your marriage and discover the deep bond that God wants you to enjoy for the rest of your lives together. And David, it's great having you back on Time for Hope. I think we decided this is your third time,
I think it is. I love coming here. I like you, and I love your show.
And the same, it goes both ways. When I saw a book or something come across my desk and it reminded me of you and your ministry and so forth, I said, see if you can get that guy back here.
Yeah, it's hard to get me, very hard. Not that hard.
No, reading about how busy you are these days, I was a little surprised, actually. We sometimes get weeded out as people.
I'm not weeding you out ever, Freda. You ask
Right,
me, I will come.
That's a promise, I'll take it, okay?
You got it.
All righty, you've come up with some interesting things in this book on why couples don't live happily ever after. There are very few, if any, that get married, have those big weddings, and put those rings on each other's finger and say those vows, that don't believe that they're going to be just that happy and in love for the rest of their lives. You agree with me on that?
Oh, I do. Everybody thinks they're going to be the exception. We're going to be just fine always. Marriage doesn't work that way. Unless you buy this book and read it on your honeymoon, Freda, you're done. You're not going to make it.
I remember, and we were just talking about Dr. Gary Smalley passing away recently and how that has broken our hearts, so to speak. But I had Dr. Smalley, Greg, and Michael on my show, and Michael admitted that he and his bride ran into some problems on the honeymoon.
Oh my goodness.
That's too early, isn't it?
That is too early. Ours hit a month or two later, but the honeymoon was great.
Yes, but anyway, it could happen. It's according to how long the honeymoon is and how far each of them or either of them is willing to go over something that shows up they probably had never expected to show up. But anyway, you mentioned some anti-intimacy scripts that both couples engage in that can take a marriage down, and daily rituals that can bore a marriage, right?
Yep.
And then marriages that have no emotional, spiritual connection.
Right, all those factors together, and I think it's literally universal. Very few exceptions. Those eat away at the marriage and take away the happiness. We talk the same way, we say the same things the same way, we fight the same way, often in a dysfunctional way. We make love the same way, we have the same evening routine, the same weekend routine, and then we make the mistake of having a kid. And that blows everything out of the water. We had 4. Then you have to, every child you have to adjust to. So happiness doesn't really last that long, but you can bring it back.
Yes. So what are some of these? Well, we could go right into the wives, the myths that they believe that create these scripts that they put out, can't we?
Let's do that.
And they're found in your book. And the number one is a wife. We're talking about a wife, okay?
Yeah.
Marriage will be... that their marriage will be a continuation of wonderful excitement, romance, and intimacy of courtship.
No, it won't be. Just after you walk down the aisle, your husband's going to start avoiding intimacy because that's what men do. And all those other factors we've just mentioned, Freda, come into play. And so, yeah, when infatuation ends, it's over.
When they want intimacy, and are you connecting sex and intimacy, or you're saying they avoid intimacy, but yet they want sex in the marriage?
Oh yeah, they want sex. The man will be focused on that, but he doesn't know about the emotional connection the woman has to have in order to really enjoy sex, nor does he understand the spiritual connection. In fact, both partners really don't. Women make their mistakes, the man makes their mistakes, his mistakes, and so it just kind of implodes.
So it pretty soon the woman this is shattered. Her thinking along these lines is shattered, right?
It is. 5 to 7 years in, typically, yeah, you're really getting into trouble.
So they might make it that long.
They might.
They might.
Michael didn't, but Michael Smalley apparently. They start happening right away, but typically you don't notice for some time because you're hopeful. Oh my gosh, we're still in love, but it runs down. It ran down for Sandy and I, my wife. It did.
Then number two, the wife, if you keep meeting your husband's needs, and I think this is universal for women, I personally do, if you keep meeting your husband's needs, he will meet your needs.
Yeah, that's
what
simply...
What a myth, what a myth.
It is. Oh, Freda.
How can husbands who are, and you say it in your book, are so self-centered and so selfish be concerned about their wife's needs?
Exactly. We're not made that way. And the Christian community, as you know, pushes this, and they still push this. The fact is, the guy will think, you're happy, so he'll be happy if you're meeting my needs, and so I don't have to make any changes. That's what a man is like. You got to get a man's attention and let him know, here are my needs, things aren't going well, and then a good man will respond. But yeah, if you keep meeting my needs, we're good, right? We're fine.
Yes. And then the third one. Your wonderful husband, you say, will ultimately know, this is what you're saying, wives think, that their wonderful husbands will intuitively know what their needs are and take action to meet them.
Yeah, do you have a laugh track here in the studio, Freda? I mean, really? The guy, your basic man has the intuitive powers of a rock. He has no idea what his wife's needs are. He loves her, but he has no idea what her needs are. She thinks he knows. It's obvious to her. Women will go years literally wondering, he knows my needs and he's not meeting them there. They get resentful and then they leave. The guy doesn't know. He has no idea.
Of why she left or where he was messing up or anything about it, huh?
No, I have guys come in every week. Doc, I've lost my wife. She's left me. She's a Christian woman. I have no idea. I will do anything. Oh, it's hard to get them back once they leave. And then we find out, if I have to happen to see the lady, all the needs that went unmet, but the guy didn't know. He'll do anything now.
You know, somebody I'm thinking about that is a very well-known singer that seems to understand women in his songs, I'm talking about.
Seems to.
And I just, Ronnie Millsap.
Oh, sure, yeah, I love him.
I love him and his, you know, he really seems to understand, and he might have had to learn, though.
Yeah, true.
He seems to understand women's deepest needs, and he's throwing his right in with hers in his songs.
Yeah.
Isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
It is we're supposed to be that in tune. But I guess Ronnie's married. Ronnie's wife, though, has to tell Ronnie what her needs are, and then Ronnie can meet them. After 33 years of marriage, it's going to be 33 in July, Freda, a few months from now, still Sandy has to tell me what her needs are, or I have to ask her, or I don't know. I'm a clinical psychologist. I should know. I don't know.
Yeah. So let's move on. We've talked about what women think. Let's look at husbands and their needs.
Yeah.
A woman knows what her needs are. We've gone, and she believes that her her husband is automatically going to know what they are without her telling him. This is what you say, and he'll meet them. Then the husbands come along, and their needs are different.
Very different.
Very different than the wife's. You say food, clothing, and sex.
Not necessarily in that order.
Not necessarily in that order.
But those are the basics.
I do remember that. My husband's been gone. We're in our, I think, our 7th year without him. But one of the things outstanding him was food. Having it on the table in the evening after work, and also he finally came down to doing the grocery shopping and everything, and even prepared breakfast for us. He was so into food.
Most guys are. The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. There's no question.
They used to say that. They really did used to say that. And then the clothing, you know, I always looked after his clothes. I would have household help, but his clothes got looked after. Yeah. And, you know, he would complain sometimes, oh, she's not matching my socks. I get my socks out and they're mismatched. You know what I did?
What did you do?
I just told her not to match them anymore, to leave them loose and let him find them and put them together. Would you advise that?
I would. Sandy's always done that. If I crab about something, she says, that's your job now. I learned early on, mumble under your breath. Do not let her hear.
And then sex.
That's a big deal.
You talk about that throughout your book almost.
I do. It's so important to a man that we're wired that way. I can't feel loved by Sandy unless she's affectionate and we're engaging in regular times of physical intimacy. Now the key, and I get to this in the book too, and God intends this, Freda, as you know, it's for the woman too. It's not a job you do for us. It's for you too. If it's done the right way and needs are met, then both enjoy it and both have a deep need for it.
Yes, and God made women and men that way and for that, didn't He?
He did.
It wasn't long after Adam and Eve sinned that they discovered they were naked, and it wasn't long after that that they had sex, was it?
I know, and how could you know you're not naked? I mean, I do another book on that.
We don't know if they were having sex before the fall, do we?
I don't know. But boy, they sure did afterward. That was part of God's blessing. There was the curse too.
And then the Song of Songs, what a beautiful book.
Oh, man.
What a beautiful. I can remember, David, when Christians shied away from reading that book. One of the professors in the seminary where my husband was attended, he broke through, Roy A. Kemp, and wrote a book, My Bed is Green. Man, he was touted and everything else for writing such a book, but he saw the light. He saw the light and knew that something like that needed to be written, and that Christians needed to face the facts of the way that they were created and what God created for them.
He wants us to enjoy that on a regular basis as part of that one flesh. I wrote a whole book on that, Kiss Me Like You Mean It. And I studied it, and all the things that it teaches you. I could do 5 books on it. It was amazing. God's trying to help us.
Yes, well, it's time for a break. So we'll come back and talk about it some more, and we will be right back. There is a saying I was reared with that goes, you get out of something what you put into it. And this could well be said about a marriage. 2 people in love doesn't guarantee a great marriage. Good marriages don't just happen. They have to be worked at. The embers of passion between marital partners can easily die out if they are not fanned by a commitment to keep them alive. Unresolved conflict, resentment, anger, unkind words, and lack of time can suffocate the flames of marital love and sexual enjoyment. Sexual passion will accompany respect for each other, learning to identify and meet each other's authentic needs, spending couple time together, and honest and loving communication. Unrealistic expectations regarding marital passion can bring disillusionment within a relationship. Couples cannot afford to allow movies and soap operas to set the standard for marriage and marital passion. Instead, look to the Scriptures for God-given instructions and directions regarding marriage and passion. And one of the things you will find is that marital passion is approved by God. I suggest reading the Song of Songs. There you will find love and passion being expressed between a bride and groom, and actually a picture of our relationship with Jesus Christ. The Scriptures also make it very clear that sex and passion should be confined to the marital bed. We read in Hebrews 13:4, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. Assuring your spouse that you are committed to them and them alone can stir the flames of passion in your marriage. Thanks for staying with us on Time for Hope. My guest is Dr. David Clarke, and we're talking about his book, What Happened to Happily Ever After. And David, we've already put out quite a bit, but we got a long ways to go and still leave and people wanting to get the rest of the story,
well, they have
the
to
rest
have
of the book. There's a lot in this book.
I packed a lot in there. I did.
Okay. Now, let me ask you personally, okay, because a lot of this information, it sounds to me like, going through the book, that you had to learn a lot of this personally. You didn't get it modeled by your father. You didn't get it modeled by other men if you were in church or whatever. So you've learned as you've gone. Is that it?
Oh, yes. This is the product of almost 33 years of marriage, just learning and finding out, learning the hard way. We didn't have a clue when we got married. She was beautiful, she was blonde, and I loved her. And that was enough. And she loved Jesus. Okay, that's not enough to build a marriage. She thought I was funny, and we had a great time together. So, but we've learned all this along the way. So we know what we're talking about.
So even with her, as you say in your book, speaking in codes and not laying out her needs to you, so you as a man could understand, even with all of that, y'all got past these barriers, and you learned to, what you lay out in your book, to listen to what she's saying, and if she's speaking in a code, and I learned this in my counseling education, get her, if she's speaking in a code, go back and say, what are you really saying to me? Is that what you've done in this marriage?
I've gotten a lot better at that. I learned a couple of things, probably 10, 12 years in, that have really made a big difference. I ask Sandy twice a day what her needs are. She likes to be asked. She doesn't like just to tell me. Now, she will if I miss, but if I ask her in the morning, honey, what can I do for you today? What are your needs? And if I record those and follow through, and then when I see her at night, I kiss her face, I say, I love you. What can I do tonight for you? Well, then she'll tell me. I take care of those jobs, works like a charm. I didn't do that for years. I figured everything was fine. She was okay doing all the housework and making all the meals and taking care of the kids. Typical dense guy. She needed help, and she was getting resentful. So when I ask, she can be sarcastic sometimes. Well, don't you see that load of laundry right in the middle of the kitchen? Actually, no. But if I ask, she'll tell me.
How much praying and going into the Scriptures did the two of you do? I have a couple right now that they're both, I believe, in their third marriage.
Okay.
But they have a wonderful marriage. And one of the keys, and they're writing about it from me and my encouraging them to do so, is that they have devotional together every morning. He's a businessman, so they can afford to do that.
Okay, good.
So how much was involved in you and Sandy? Is that?
Sandy, yeah.
Yes. Getting where you are in your marriage today, how much was involved in prayer, the Scriptures, and you being willing as a man to humble yourself to seek to know her needs?
It's been huge for us. If there's one factor above all, that's the one. With God at the center of our marriage through prayer on a regular basis. We pray for 5 minutes during each of our couple talk times. We have 4 to 5 couple talk times each week, 25, 30 minutes, sometimes close to an hour. And as part of that 5, 10 minutes, we have a prayer time. Holding hands, praying out loud. Listening to Sandy pray is just the greatest thing in the world. That has solidified our marriage. We talk about our spiritual lives. We didn't do that for years. We finally figured out, I want to know what Sandy's doing with God and her devotional time and how God is leading her. And so I know now, and I can share what my life. So that connects us. We read the Bible. As this couple's doing, we do a devotional sometimes. Oh, that bonds us. Then we have God's power to help us in these other areas.
Yes, the Holy Spirit is always there to guide us and lead us how to pray and what our needs are. And but we do have to get honest with ourselves, don't we? In that, even with that, we have to be honest with God and honest with ourselves, don't we?
You do. And you have to admit, like we're both Christians, we both go to church, but we're on these parallel tracks. That's not a Christian marriage. A Christian marriage is one where you put God at the center and you share Him on a regular basis. That's made all the difference for us.
So another thing you bring out, and I really got into this, was that women pursue the men, women pursue their husbands, and husbands don't like that, and they want to be the pursuer. So just speak to that.
I think you have to talk about it as a couple, but the Bible's clear that at least half of the time the woman can pursue the man. If it's physical, he will love that. Most men would kill for that. But it works both ways. Ladies like to be pursued too. So it's like half and half. Like Sandy and I, for our dating life, I ask her out every week, and one week she will decide what we do and where we go. Probably be a craft show with my luck. But that's fine. I love her. The next week, it's my idea. I devise the date. So just balance it out, and you'll be in good shape.
Balance it out in pursuing.
Right.
Yeah.
The lady can pursue sometimes. The man pursues. And it works.
But a woman does have a deeper need for a deeper relationship with her man, and knowing that he will go to a craft show if if that's what she wants to do, or that he'll give in this area and give in that area. You agree with me on that?
I do, and that's real pursuit. I will do whatever the blonde, I call her the blonde, whatever the blonde wants to do. I'm with her, that's all that counts. That's pursuing her.
Okay, when she just speaks very plainly and clearly to you about her needs, is that going against submission that's found in the scriptures?
I don't think so. It works for us, because most men, I want to know, just tell me. I'm a practical person, I love you, write it out or tell me verbally. I'm good with that. I don't feel controlled, because now I can meet her needs and it's good.
Oh, well, so what else do you have to say? They're telling me we're getting very close to the end. You want to look at the camera and say something?
Well, what I'd say is it's okay to have your marriage run down. It happens to everybody. It happened to Sandy and I. But the way to get it back is through following God's principles, the wives correcting their mistakes, the husband correcting his mistakes, and then being honest and putting God at the center. You do that, and you'll have the happiness come roaring back, and then you can keep it for a lifetime.
That is wonderful, David. You put it in a nutshell, and I really appreciate that. And then I've got something to share with you. Before we leave completely, I have from a viewer, Dear Dr. Freda, please pray for my marriage. We are separated, and my husband has said some negative things about me to our son. Our son is not speaking to me now. This is a sad situation. Please pray for reconciliation for our family. Be assured we have already done that, and we do pray that some of what David and I have shared today can help you as a viewer in this situation and help your husband. Also, and we actually acknowledge and pray over every prayer request that comes in to Time for Hope. And if you need us to continue praying on this situation, just let us know. And then I have a note of encouragement, which of course spurs me along, and God uses them as I prepare to do the shows and all the other work that goes along with Time for Hope. Dear Dr. Freda, I think your program, Time for Hope, is a blessing. It opens up a whole new world for me of health and help for a more fruitful life. Thank you for having this program on the air, and that is just a great encouragement because sometimes, I'll be honest, I get discouraged with all of the work that is involved, but I'm always encouraged by what God is doing through the program of Time for Hope and hearing from people like you. Now, the next thing, two things. If you haven't helped us financially, ask God what He would have you do about that. We can use your financial help. And then the other thing is make sure that you join us again next week on Time for Hope.
A free fact sheet that contains additional information about today's topic is available upon request from our ministry. You can also receive a copy of today's resource for a donation of at least $17 to the Time for Hope ministry. You may call us at 800-669-9133. Write us at Post Office Box 2169, Spartanburg, South Carolina 29304. Or visit our website at timeforhope.org. When you call or write, prayerfully consider a donation to our ministry. Our ministry's mission is to offer hope to discouraged and hurting people. As we continue to give out messages of hope, a financial gift of any amount to support this ministry will be greatly appreciated. When you do this, you are joining us in offering hope to many viewers seeking help and hope for their situation. This will also enable us to inform and inspire some viewers to expand our mission, as they learn and in turn can minister more effectively to hurting people around them. To see this program again online, go to our website or search for Time for Hope TV on YouTube, iTunes, and Facebook. Join us next week on Time for Hope as Dr. Crews discusses another insightful topic.
When I was growing up, my mom showed some symptoms of mental illness, but no one realized that's what they were at the time, partly because it was less recognized than it is now, but mostly because, as you mentioned, she did function well enough to be able to kind of get through daily life. My mom was later diagnosed with schizophrenia and has suffered, which is typically a chronic mental illness, so she has suffered from that throughout the rest of her life. And it's typical for a lot of families like mine who have something like a serious mental illness in the family. So much of the family's time and energy and resources go to trying to keep that person well, and that's one of the things that causes a lot of strain and stress for people in families like mine. And overcoming that sense of fear that can cause us to treat someone like they're less than us.
Stigmatism, you brought that out. Destigmatize those that are suffering from a mental illness. I thought that was good.
Sometimes it's even as simple as knowing someone is suffering from a mental illness, and regardless of how that may affect you, still being determined to treat that person with respect, shaking their hand, making eye contact, smiling at them, making sure that they know that you realize they're still a person made in God's image. God still has a plan and a purpose for them, and they're still a valuable part of your community.
Until next time, have a great week. And remember, it is time for hope.